Hi, welcome again. This is the next instalment in the Quickulum saga, and based on feedback from schools, it's turned out that the timetable editor is not quite up to scratch. So I've spent the last few months really improving that aspect of Quickulum. The first piece of feedback I got was that it wasn't quite flexible enough for the needs of different schools. Not every school uses 6 50-minute periods a day. Not every school has a 2 week cycle. So the timetable editor now allows you not only to change the length of the periods per day, the number of periods per day, but it also allows you to change each and every single day to your needs. So if you've got Wednesday sport that takes all afternoon, you can put that in as a separate time on your timetable. So that's the first thing. But I've gone one step further. And with Quickulum, this time round, the timetable editor not only allows you to change the cycle that your school may run by, but it also allows you to change timetables as many times as you need to during the year. Let me give you an example. At the changeover at semester 2, some of the electives might disappear and new ones might come in. You set up a new timetable on the day of the second semester and everything starts from there. You rebuild your timetable. A second scenario is when you have an exam time, especially for senior students in the later part of the year, and you've got a special timetable for them. You can set that up as a separate entity in the timetable as a new timetable, and the lessons will flow automatically through the whole year. It'll automatically just sync up with your new timetable. And the last thing that I've found out is that at the end of the year, when a school has an advanced program, perhaps Quick Start or Flying Start, whatever it is for your school, the last 2 weeks are spent with next year's work. You can add the timetable, which then progresses on to the next year. So there's a case where you may have 4, maybe even 5 timetables a year. If you have more need, less need, it'll accommodate that. So let's get started and I'll show you exactly the changes that are coming in probably early July. So here we are. We've opened Quickulum for the first time. This is what you'll get by default. You'll get 6 50-minute periods per day over a 7-day cycle, including Saturday and Sunday. That's important. If you don't put those in, it doesn't keep syncing up. But you'll notice that Saturday and Sunday are greyed out. That's because you can select to include or exclude days by clicking on the highlight on the title at the top. Now, I've taken the liberty already of creating some groups and creating some subjects, and I've linked those already, and you can see those there down the side. So let's take the first timetable for the year, and in the first half, I'll be teaching Year 9 maths for 2 sessions and perhaps a double later on in the week and a double for the other. So that's my first semester's work. Once I've set up my timetable in that way, and by the way, if you hadn't noticed, before I moved, I clicked to select any of those. If you want to deselect all, click again on the same one and they're deselected. So once I've done that, I want to show you the lessons once I click update. So once you click update, the timetable is shifted across into the lessons. You'll see it goes back all the way to the beginning of the cycle, which in this case is back to the 30th of January, the very first day of school, but they're all greyed out because they're in the past. Here's today, Tuesday the 20th of June, and you can see that the cycle has fitted in with the lessons. I've got a 7-day cycle, so it's going to repeat every week. Now, this may not be adequate for all your needs, but it's easy to change, and I'll take you through that process now. The first thing I want to show you is this. When we need a new timetable, we click on this button here. The new timetable button will automatically work out when the next cycle should begin. So it'll finish off the current cycle and start the next cycle from the next week. You don't have to say that. You can easily change it. Just drop that down, choose a different starting date. So I've chosen the 3rd of July as the starting date for my new timetable. Now this is in the new semester. So this time I'm teaching years 8. So I've got 8 A, B and C for maths, and I've also got doubles set out through the year. And I don't think I want to do that because that's going to be spanning recess time. So there's that done, and 8C, lucky gets period 1 and 2. My new timetable's done. If I click update now, noticing the date, I'll show you what happens. So I click update, move across to my lessons tab. You'll see there's the old cycle, but when we get to July the 3rd, you'll see that the timetable has automatically changed over to the new one. And you can do the same thing at the end of the year. You can do the same thing for exam timetables, etc. So that's pretty much the essence of adding a new timetable. But just to show you something else that you can do, as I mentioned before, the periods can be changed. So let's say we are now going to be doing in the afternoon Saturday sport. On Wednesday sport. So Wednesday we only have 5 periods. So I select the last one, click on remove period, and of course we've got a gap. It turns out that our sport's going to take 100 minutes. And by the way, don't forget to deselect before you do this. If you hold your mouse over the top and roll the scroll wheel, you'll see a very subtle white number in the corner. That's how many minutes the period's going to go for. As soon as you stop scrolling, it'll fade away. So now I've got Saturday sport for 100 minutes in the afternoon. This is with my new July timetable. Click on update, change over the lessons. Let's scroll across, and you can see now that Wednesdays are 1 period. To make that a little bit more obvious, I'll do something absolutely mental. I'm going to reduce the length of the periods on Friday down to 30 minutes, on Tuesday down to 30 minutes, and perhaps period 4 on the Monday down to 25 minutes. Now that's completely crazy. No one would do that, but it does illustrate a point. If I click update, go back to my lessons, you'll see the jagged edges there, and that cycle will be repeating over the rest of the year until the next timetable gets set. You can delete timetables as required. If you need more days, you can click on Add Day, which will add a day to the lesson. One important thing to note is that it will copy the previous day. So if you add or remove a day, if you click add to add the day, it'll add it to the end, copying the very last day to make sure that it's the same. So you'll see that Monday is equivalent to Sunday, except it's been disabled. So I have to enable the Monday, and I've now got a cycle which covers 8 days, which is going to be a bit of a nightmare to try and keep up with, but it's up to you how your school runs. So I'll remove that day just to set it back to normal. You can do the same as you've seen with adding periods. If I want an extra period on a Friday, click on Add Period. I've now got that there. Update, change back to lessons, scroll across, and there's my extra period on a Friday. So I hope that all made sense. Please go to the Microsoft Store, download Quickulum, use the month free trial to see if you like it. Send me your comments. One of the advanced features that will be coming soon, probably in September, just before exam time, is the ability to create and write exams inside the application and print those out in a completely formatted way so that you don't have to stuff around with Word, changing things left and right. So also, if you want to keep up to date with changes that are being made, with improvements, with feedback, please subscribe to this channel and you'll be always abreast of what's going on. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next one.